Hello and welcome to Assorted Meeples. I'm your host, as always, Phillip. And today, as you can see from the description, we're going to be talking about Stardew Valley. And this is a game that I have put several hundred hours into personally. Shane has put, I think, like 1,000+ hours in at this point, or 600 to 1,000. I can't remember. It's a lot. We have a lot of experience with this game, and while we talk about this subject all the time, it is one that continually has little tips and tricks. And today, what I'm going to be going over is the initial setup and playing of the game that things I want to show and point out. So, that being said, we have a lot of experience. And sometimes it's a game that just drops you in like a New Jordan Draft and says, have fun when you hit the ground, and you'll figure it out. So, that being said, we're going to get right into it. So first, let's pop that box cover. Oh, wait. Yeah, I have the board game. I have the video game, but I have the board game. It'll be fine. We'll be fine. All right. So first thing we're going to do is I'm just going to set these bags aside. Now I've already pulled everything out and punched them because it just takes time on camera and I didn't want to do that. Plus I was too eager to actually see this game. Unboxings don't really do that well. First thing we're going to do though is we're going to pull out the game board. Now, oops, that's the wrong way. Let's talk about this game board. This is exactly what I wanted to see in a game of Stardew Valley. I almost said Harvest Moon. Whoopsie doodles. The game is an homage to it, but anyways, that's getting distracted. This is exactly what I wanted to see. This is a wonderful representation, and the running maps are pretty much where you would go, how you would travel through the community as you go. We'll get to that more towards the end of the video. I will try and timestamp this one, so there should be, if you want to jump to the how you actually play, it'll be down there for you. So, we got that set up. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this out. This is the tray of fruits, or not fruits and veggies, of crops, animal products, and then the some other resources that you're going to need. So, we're going to set that aside. We'll put it right in this area, I think. Next thing we're going to need that. This is the mining tiles. So in here you have tiles that have artifacts on one side and minerals on the other side. These things are things that you can either sell or put into the museum if you need them, or if that's one of your goals you need to fulfill. And you get stuff. This one is the fishing bag, and this one is newspaper, so it does nothing for us. This has a fish. This is a legendary fish, and it tells you where you have to be to try and catch him, name, art, how much he is worth sold, and how you catch him, and indicates that he is a legendary fish. So we're going to set this, the fish track is down here, so I'm going to set that right there. We want to pull out the Joja tiles. The Joja tiles are tiles that, if asked for, they go down on a location and they ruin the location basically. You can remove them for 5 gold or a heart, and we're going to shuffle those up, and we'll set those right here to the left of the board. We want our item deck. Now our item deck here is going to have all those wonderful things that you're used to in the game. Magic Candy Rock, upgrade, backpack upgrade, beer, campfire, just really good stuff. So we're going to set that down. The event deck, if it asks for an event, you're going to pull one of these, and it's going to be different things that will affect the game. So we're going to set that right here as well. We'll move this down, set the event right next to there. Next, we have the epic items. These are things like the horse, the mermaid pendant, the Jumino hut, Crystallium. Like, they're the really good items. After that, we have the Minevet small deck. And in here, there are different things as well. So a staircase to get to the next level, cave, carrot, empty, a light in the dark. So a lot of good cards in here as well. We're going to set those over here in the mining area. We got that all set up. We're going to plant our first crop in our fields, and that's going to be a parsnip in the number 2 field, and that's where it starts. We're going to pull out this season's wood, which happens to be pink. Background is pink. We're going to pull out this season's tiles for the forgeables, and we're going to put one at one of the trees on each stump. So if you move and cut it through a space, you can pick one of these up, and we're going to put a forgeable face down without looking on each mushroom around the board. There is one for each one, so if you have extra, you missed one, go looking for mushrooms. Yeah, we'll let that one play. Now we're going to pull this fishy. I've already explained how the fishy tiles work, and we're going to fill one in for each spot of the board here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the color determines where you can pick these guys up. So this one is up in the, this is the river fishing. These two would be ocean, and this guy would be in the mountain. Now you can buy, if you went to the ocean fishing, you can pick both of these up as long as you had the right stuff to pick them up when you went fishing. That's all set up and done. Now let's get into the mines, which I think are in this stack right here. This is the first player token. We'll get to that in a minute. Grandpa's goals, we're going to set those aside. The mine has 12 levels. These start off pretty easy, and as it goes, and if you've played the game, it gets harder and harder. So there's that. Next are the maps. Give them a quick shuffle. Now we're going to flip the top card up here, and this is the map. So you're going to roll you're going to roll 2 dice, and you're going to coordinate with wherever it is. Whatever you get is what you get. And then right here is, if you go to Clint's to break open geodes, there is a quick little reference chart right on the board. That is a fabulous touch to make life easier for everybody. Oops, I did forget to grab the villagers. Now the villager deck has every character in the game in here, and when you flip them over, you're going to try and give them a gift right away to befriend them, otherwise you discard it. Here are his dislikes. These things you cannot give him, and anything else you can, but he really likes parsnips or crops, and you would get 2 hearts instead of just 1 for gifting him. If you give him a gift in the summer, you get an extra heart from him. So we're going to set those over here as well. Next up is the season deck. So each season has its own colored back to it, and I am going to be going through here, and what I'm looking for are the cards with this little Jumino down in the bottom. So spring is set up, so we got those 4 for spring. Now we're going to run and grab the ones for summer. Summer and fall and winter. Those are extras because they had a malfunction with the print run. Alright, so let's go ahead and just skim this for my Juminos, because I am going to set up to play myself later. Those get set aside now. So my summer is done. And Juminos, come here, buddies. 1, 2, 3. That means I missed 1. 4. There it is. Stack that on the bottom. Over. Oops. Have to look at it. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, all those cards can get returned. Now there's more seasonal cards because you do get some variety in your game. So winter goes on bottom, followed by fall, summer, spring. I will get to what these do, but our deck is now ready. So you have 4 turns per season, so it's going to be 16 turns in total. There's that, the season deck, the community center, which are these little cards right here. We're going to pick 1 at random, so there's 3 for the boiler room. The vault has 3 as well. Bulletin board has a bunch. I'll just keep taking the bottom 1 of each one. The fish tank. Now, this is one of the requirements of the game, is that you complete, to win the game, you have to complete 1 of each one from each room. Now, you don't get to flip these until you spend hearts to do it. So this one is spring forageables. Any spring forageable, you have to do a spring forageable equal to the number of players. And those can go back and, well, actually those get set aside because I can switch those out. I'm going to put them up here with those. Grandpa's goals. These are these cards. These are all different things that will make, these are things Grandpa expects to see by the end of your first year for you to complete. So our first one is expand the farm, build a building for every player playing the game. Explore the mines, reach the bottom of level 12. Save enough gold, 10 gold per player, and it is a communal pot of gold. Raise animals, 2 animals per player. Okay, well, that's kind of the most generic you could get, but I'm okay with that because this is going to be my first game. Next, we are going to pull out the barn animals. So I have my barn animals, and then I have my barn. I'm going to set that right there. And then I have my coop and the chicken, duck, and rabbit, and they're going to go over here. And then I'm just going to grab 2 buildings. I'll grab the shed and the farmhouse. Now on the back side of these, it has you get to do something, and that has the cost to build it. When built, search the epic deck and gain the mermaid pendant. Shed, any number of resources can be stored on this tile. Players may trade with the shed during the planning phase. Ooh, that's a pretty good one. All right, we're gonna set those all aside, call it a day. Now I've got the spouse, we're gonna set her aside. I'm gonna pull out the player setup. Now the player, there are 4 professions you can start as: foraging, farming, fishing, and mining. Fighting is the other skill that is not in this game. So now looking at this, I'm going to want the mining profession and the farming profession, I do believe, because I'm going to get upgrades, and then tools that I'm going to want, or we would want during this. Fishing rod, watering can, hoe. Gonna want the pickaxe, so we're gonna take the pickaxe and we're gonna put all those right there. These are upgrades. At the end of each round, we're going to get to draw one for our profession, and I think we're gonna take the watering can. Oops, that's my fishing rod, and then the rest of these tools can just go away for now. So there we have it. The pet token and 3 gold to start, so I'll just set that on that guy. All right, and I would get the yellow and the red pawn out to indicate, because I am set up for a 2-player game. And we would start with 3 gold communal. So there's that. And I will have all the dice. I'm going to leave all the extra gold in the heart bag, which here it is right here. And then our special custom dice, that there are animal dice, and then there are community dice. So we're going to set those there, and we'll set these right here. And we are set up, ready to go. Now, how you play this game. First, you're going to flip the season deck, and you're going to do everything that it says on here. There's a bunch of different symbols, which hopefully I will flash up over me so you can see what they all do. So in this case, you're just going to go from the top of the card to the bottom of the card and do as it says. So you would destroy a crop in a green field, get a gift, get an event, and then sell anything if you have it on hand. Next, we're going to go to the planning phase, which means we can talk about what we're going to do. Before this phase ends, we're going to place our people wherever we would like. Then, once that happens, and we can trade as many resources as we want before we move on to the next phase. The next phase, you're going to take 2 actions. You can either do 2 actions where you started, or you can take an action, move, and then take your second action in a different space. And you have to follow the lines. If you go down the line, you can pick up one of the forageables that are touching close to your line. At the end of your turn, you're going to go to the farmhouse, and you can do anything you want here. Build stairs, pet a farm, remove Joja, tile, and these things all have a cost. Or you can upgrade a starting tool. As long as you have those resources, you can do as many times as you would like. You're going to do that, so that's a whole turn. Once everybody is done, gone through and taken their turn, you're going to flip another card and keep on going through it. If you use the community center, you pay a heart, and you're going to flip over one of those, and so you can see what it is to do it. To drop stuff off, you have to go to the community center, and you have to have it in your possession. Once you are actually in the turn order taking actions, you can no longer trade. So remember that during the planning phase, when you can trade back and forth, because one person can just get loaded, you can carry up to 6 items, one person can just get loaded and drop a bunch off. You can drop them off on the community center. So like if you were playing a 2-player game and you had 1 forageable, you could drop the 1 forageable and it would stay until you complete that bundle. Now if you trade it out because you no longer can do that, you would discard that. You wouldn't get that forageable back, you would discard it. Grandpa's goals. Once you reach Grandpa's goals, you are good to go. That's about it. This game plays very simply. As you go through, you're trying to make friends with everybody. You are trying to farm as much as you can. You're trying to make gold, trying to progress the game, just like the game. This feels very reminiscent of the game. They did everything they could to produce a fabulous, well done representation of a computer game. This has a lot of pieces, which I'm usually not a fan of, but they've designed the insert and the how everything fits together super nicely. The component quality, these cardboard chits are absolutely fabulous. They're thick, they're chunky. I like them. The dice are decals, not embedded, or they're just dice with a sticker on them. Very nice sticker, but so they're not full custom, but I'm okay with that. It doesn't have to be the engraved inset dice. The cards are where I have my little bit of the cards are just cardstock. Like if you hold them up to the light, you can see through the card to what's the other side. Not that I'm trying to cheat or anything, but I do like good quality cards. And so having just a lighter cardstock for the cards even though the cards look amazing, it's a little bit of a letdown. And the other one is the pawns. They're just little pawns, which I get. I will be looking at trying to find some farmer minis and using those farmer minis instead. And the artwork, though, is what's fascinated me with this game. The artwork takes the pixelated 2D work and just makes this game shine. It is absolutely stunning. I have yet to play the game fully, so I can't give a review on that, but I will be back after a few rounds of plays with this, I'm sure, to talk about my final thoughts on this. So, Shane, anytime you want me to bring this game, I will gladly play it with you. I have the rules basically down. I'm going to do a solo play and see how that goes, just to kind of get a full feel of the game. And I will talk with you guys. I'll let Shane take us out of here, and I'm going to talk with you guys next time. All right. Bye.
If you like what you just saw, please support us by hitting that like button and subscribing to our channel for more great gaming content.